to UT Today. I'm Bliss Zeckman.
And I'm Faith Howard. Coming up today, off-campus student housing is convenient, but is it safe?
And while students head off to the beach for spring break, how others have used break time to give back to the community.
Several acts of hate and bias have occurred in the recent months at the University of Tennessee. These incidents have made various groups at the university feel disconnected. Reporter Beverly Banks tells us what's been happening and the students who have been affected.
Acts of hate and bias on the University of Tennessee campus motivated students to protest on November 10, 2016. The protest signifies a high point for tensions between various campus groups. Of the more than 28,000 students at the University of Tennessee, 24% identify as non-white. Student Antonio Butler and the university's multicultural mentoring program painted over the hashtag No Safe Spaces on the Rock after the 2016 presidential election. Antonio says these words do not promote campus inclusivity.
Political message was cool, but the message No Safe Spaces isn't conducive to being, inclusive like some of our administrative faculty and staff and students would like it to be.
The Pride Center has faced repeated vandalism this semester. Pride Ambassador Thomas Tran says the vandal left a hateful note.
The incident at the Pride Center with the note that got left behind, I'd say that's hate speech too.
Associate Dean of Students Cynthia Polk Johnson says the university's Bias Education Response Team aims to support all students.
They are taking advantage of the process in terms of reporting incidents. What we have to be careful about, we're not here to stifle free speech or, not uphold the First Amendment.
Students can fill out a bias incident reporting form online. After the 2016 presidential election, the American flag at the Howard Baker Center was ripped down and defaced. Conservative student Luke Elliott says the act of bias shows disrespect to our veterans.
It upsets me to see a flag ripped down. So many people have given their lives for this country.
Muslim student Janine Omari says the Daily Beacon's letter to the editor spread a false message.
If you aren't a terrorist, you support terrorist activity, is basically the message I got from it, and that's something that can, it breeds hate.
Head of the UT Political Science Department, Professor Richard Picelli, says it is difficult for the university to decide when one crosses the fine line between free speech and acts of hate.
Most speech is protected and most expression is protected, but things like obscenity, libel, the fighting words, those are things that the court has traditionally said are not protected speech.
Butler says listening to students is the first step to campus unity.
It won't be an overnight fix. The harvest is plenty, but the laborers are few. So whoever does decide to work, got a lot to get done while you're here.
The National Center for Education Statistics reports that out of 748 hate crimes at post-secondary institutions, race and sexual orientation were the categories most frequently associated with reported hate crimes. For UT Today, this is Beverly Banks reporting.
The University Bias Incident Reporting Team reported 19 incidents of bias just last semester.
The University of Tennessee's Boss Dance Company prides itself on showcasing unique and thought-provoking pieces. This year, the company showcase features a dance that may seem controversial to some. What may seem like a dance practice is actually a dance protest. 32 members of UTK's Boss Dance Company rally together every Sunday night to perform Us versus US. Michael Gallion created the choreography and concept for the piece. He says it is a response to how social media can fuel hate, especially when politics are involved.
All in all, when you get onto social media or you turn on the TV right now, you just feel anger. And so I wanted to speak to that situation that we're having right now.
The dance addresses several issues: President Trump's Mexican border wall, Syrian refugees, and the Black Lives Matter movement are all showcased. Gallion warned participants the dance would be controversial. This did not stop anyone chosen from participating. Sophomore Danielle Buck is no exception.
I am absolutely thrilled for Knoxville to see this piece. In the South, it's so hard to spread a message, and hopefully if we can start here, it'll go all over America.
Despite angry sounds behind the steps, Vice President of Boss Dance Company, Danny Lieto, says the goal of this dance is not to divide.
No one here is saying Black Lives Matter versus anything else, but for sure, like it starts the conversation, like what is that about, and then we would explain it.
Living true to his message that people should spread love, not hate, Gallion ends every practice with a group hug and encouraging words.
These students have just captured the thought process, the feeling, the energy, the importance of this dance and the timing of the dance, just to watch it come together over the past few months. Yeah, it's emotional. It's good.
Gallion says even if the dance is met with jeers instead of cheers, he'll be proud of his product and proud of his dancers. Boss dancers say that expressing their frustrations through dance can be more effective than traditional protest because it is less invasive. They say instead of conveying their message with signs and shouts on a street, they can entertain and allow people to absorb their message. The Fort Sanders neighborhood is filled with the majority of University of Tennessee students.
Reporter Erin Pimbleton tells us how you may need to take measures to keep your apartment or home safe. Erin?
Close to the University of Tennessee campus, theft and burglaries account for 71% of crimes. I sat down with a UT student who says he was a victim of a burglary at his off-campus apartment.
No, please, just don't shoot.
That's what Toy Reed heard just moments after his roommate was awoken with a gun next to his head.
Give me the money, where are the drugs?
Reed says a robber picked the lock and got into their off-campus apartment at the Heights. That's when the robber demanded drugs and money from Reed's roommate. Reed immediately called the police.
I was telling the 911 operator, like, there's a robber in my house. I think he has a gun.
Seconds later, Reed says the man grabbed the television from their common room and took off.
I went outside into the hallway, and my roommate had a black eye. Apparently the guy had punched him.
Captain Bob Wooldridge from the Knoxville Police Department says these incidents can be common in the area.
You'll see residential burglary, number 2. Of course, I mentioned auto theft, auto burglaries, number 1.
To minimize these crimes, Wooldridge emphasizes the importance of checking a peephole, locking windows, and using a deadbolt, especially in apartments.
Kind of thinking like we think prevention really can make a big difference.
Even though Reed and his roommate locked their door that night, they forgot an important step.
My roommate forgot to lock the deadbolt.
Something they'll never forget again.
Fortunately, Captain Wooldridge says more serious crimes like assault are a lot less common in the area. To practice prevention, he encourages checking your surroundings and keeping your property protected.
Make sure you always keep your windows closed and your doors locked. If your property has been damaged, report the crime immediately to police. Coming up, it seems as though every college student is required to use technology to succeed. How one student is defying the odds.
Stay with us. You're watching UT Today.
Planning for greater wealth? Concerned about monies for retirement? Wanting to prepare funds for loved ones in the future? Call Paradigm Wealth Partners today, 251-0808. ParadigmWealthPartners.com. Planning for greater wealth? Concerned about monies for retirement? Wanting to prepare funds for loved ones in the future? Call Paradigm Wealth Partners today, 251-0808. ParadigmWealthPartners.com.
Welcome back. Between 2010 and 2016, cell phone users in the U.S. launched from 63 million to over 207 million.
And just when you would think everyone would have one in his or her pocket, UT Today reporter Justin Crawford met a student who does not.
That's right. It's often we see students around gripping one of these, either texting or scrolling through an application. But it's not often you'll meet someone who does not do either. Maya Durbin does not own a cell phone and has been without one since entering college here at UT. It seems out of the ordinary that one doesn't have a cell phone in today's time. But UT student Maya Durbin has found other ways to preoccupy herself.
I basically, in those moments or gaps where I don't have anything to like pick up and keep me preoccupied as technology-wise, I use that as a space to be more creative and focus that energy somewhere else.
Maya mentions that not having a cell phone has also allowed her to confidently get face-to-face with those around her.
Not having one, I was forced to talk to people, and then where there's still the element of being in front of another body and talking to someone in a way in which they can understand you. That's important.
To her, it seems as though this generation has become a little too attached to our devices.
We are obsessed with being preoccupied. We love taking up time doing things that we really don't need to be.
Hodges studio manager Trey Hobson says he has also noticed this trend.
You'll see in a lecture, or you'll just see people walking down the hall or walking down the street, and they're literally all on their cellular phones.
Maya feels communication is vital when interacting with others, and she says cell phones could be taking that away.
You're not only going to be messaging people, you're not only going to be talking to people from a distance, you're still going to have to get a job, you're still going to have to be interviewed.
Cell phones can provide us with a lot of convenience and information, but Maya says that her time away from a cell phone is what she values most since coming to college. And Maya tells us she still does not plan to purchase a cell phone anytime soon and is continuing to focus on utilizing her free time on music and writing. Back to you, Faith and Bliss.
The University of Tennessee's student population is around 28,000 students on any given year. Reporter Rachel Underwood shows us how one student organization is working to make sure that number continues to grow.
If you've spent any time on the University of Tennessee's campus, you've probably seen this big orange bus. From the moment that prospective students step inside, it is the goal of the UT campus ambassadors to make them feel welcome and a part of the big orange family.
My name is Chandler.
My name is Ashley.
And we are going to be your tour guides today.
They are the students you see giving tours every day on the University of Tennessee's campus. Over 250 students apply every year to be an ambassador, and each student selected brings a unique quality to the program.
They usually take the best, and with that best usually comes that amount of diversity, and each person in the ambassadors program is unique in and of themselves. You don't really have any duplicates, so that's really what makes us unique and what really makes me love the ambassadors.
Assistant Director of Visits Laura Stanzel explains UT's campus ambassadors work to give students a glimpse of what life is like as a Tennessee Vol.
What tour guides do is they act as the official liaisons for the university and prospective students. So they have the opportunity to work with prospective students and really give the student perspective of why a student should consider UT.
For campus ambassador Chandler Snyder, receiving feedback from the families that visit is one of his favorite parts of giving tours.
Comment cards are probably one of my favorite parts about being an ambassador. You come in, they write down something good. Whenever you see those positive comment cards, it can really be a boost on your day if you're having a negative day or a bad day or you're feeling kind of down. It's always fun to read those comment cards.
From the program's start in the 1970s until today, the main job requirement continues to be having a passion for the university.
Fundamentally, what we want all students to have is a passion and love for the university, because we always like to say that we can teach a student how to speak and how to do a campus tour, but we can't teach them how to be passionate about UT.
The application deadline for the 2017-2018 academic year ended on December 1st, but campus ambassadors will continue to give tours throughout the upcoming semester. Reporting for UT Today, this is Rachel Underwood.
The ambassador program is now in the process of training new tour guides for the 2017 fall semester.
One way Tennessee volunteers like to show their spirit is by giving back. See how UT Today reporter Alicia Gaffney and a few other Vols showed their Vol spirit in the Knoxville community.
For $25 and a weekend of possibilities, 8 UT women teamed up to cook, serve, and take a stance on what they wanted the future to look like.
I led an AB local trip focusing on the theme protecting women's rights, strength through community, and we served our community with specifically women's focused organizations.
Senior aerospace engineering major Kate Stamper says this trip made her want to dig a bit deeper into Knoxville's history.
We've sort of seen a push recently for really across the world to move back on women's rights and some of the advances we've made, but also just from a local perspective of giving back to women.
The YWCA is dedicated to eliminating racism and empowering women. Quincy Smith, the YWCA rental facilitator, says a volunteer's purpose is simple.
By your coming here and helping us, you're helping to preserve the facility and making it useful and available to the people who might need it.
Participating in service just a few hours out of your day can make a huge impact on your community. Alternative Break local trips show students that you don't have to go far to give back.
All women should have equal access to all things. We shouldn't sort of like restrict women's access to things based on whatever life they've lived.
For UT Today, I'm Alicia Gaffney reporting.
The organizations A Hand Up for Women and the YWCA are always looking for mentors and volunteers to help push their message forward. Trips like this alternative break happen year-round.
Coming up in sports, we all use the term VFL, but what does it really mean?
Stay with us, you're watching UT Today.
Wish that I was on old Rocky Top.
Down Tennessee Hills.
Home sweet home to me.
Rocky Top, Tennessee.
Welcome back. Next up in sports, we all know students show out for football games, but how about other sports?
UT Today's Casey Funderburg tells us what's been happening in the world of university athletics. Casey.
Thank you, Faith. What is a VFL? You've heard it before. You've seen it on social media, but it's more than just a hashtag. For many, it's a way of life.
Vol for Life coordinator Antone Davis says there's no real definition for a VFL.
There's so many things to so many people, but you know, and that's really been, it's been kind of an Achilles heel for us, but it's also been our strength. It's a life skills program that prepares players for life after football. If it's former players, it's a player who gave his all for Tennessee, and we want him around the program, him or her.
What exactly is the Vol for Life program?
Well, the Vol for Life program is actually morphed into really a three-pronged attack to what we're trying to do. It's a life skills program, first of all, that helps players. It's designed to help players prepare for life after football. So when players come back and they're now business owners and they're now successful in their own right, they can help these players and be a mentor to these players.
And it would only make sense to have a VFL run the program. Davis is a former UT and NFL football player and was asked to run the Vol for Life program in 2012, almost 2 decades after leaving UT.
When I had the opportunity to come back in this capacity, I jumped at the chance.
One of the program's biggest events of the year is the VFL reunion, where former players can come and experience being a part of the team again.
We'll have a dinner the night before, we'll give them some nice gifts, and then the next day they can go in the Vol Walk. They can come down on the sidelines for pregame warm-ups, and then they can go set up in the tunnel and get ready and run through the T behind the team.
No matter where a player goes in life after football, they will always be a VFL.
Once you're a Vol for life.
Davis says he would love to see the day where we have a Vol for Life program for all sports at Tennessee. Although Tennessee men's basketball has shown improvement this year from last season, game attendance has seen the lowest numbers in a decade. Reporter Lucas Panzica explains what could be causing this decline.
Tennessee basketball has done better than expected this season, spending a chunk of the year squarely on the NCAA tournament bubble. Despite this, attendance numbers for men's basketball in Thompson-Boling Arena has gradually gone down over the past decade. Since Bruce Pearl was fired in 2010 amid scandal, student attendance numbers have dropped to Buzz Peterson era levels. Average attendance under coach Buzz Peterson was about 13,400 fans per game. After he left in 2005, Bruce Pearl took over, taking Tennessee basketball to new heights, averaging about 19,000 fans per game. After Pearl was let go due to a recruiting scandal, attendance dropped to 16,000 under Conjo Martin and about 15,000 in Donnie Tyndall's lone year as head coach. Now under Barnes, the Vols are averaging just 13,600 fans per game. Many students believe that Pearl's energy on the sideline contributed to bringing fans to games, along with the team's success.
Tennessee hasn't had a technical foul called on a coach since Bruce Pearl, and it was that kind of energy I think this arena really loved. I mean, this place would get crazy for that Kansas game when Tennessee knocked off Kansas. That was, maybe the loudest I've ever seen this arena.
Although there may be other factors that affect the drop in attendance, the most important one is winning. Barnes has had a young squad this year, but if the Vols build off some of the success they've had for next year, then fans can expect to see attendance numbers go up. I'm Lucas Panzica for UT Today reporting.
Tennessee will go into next season with higher expectations and NCAA tournament hopes. And if the Vols can win enough games to go to the big dance, attendance in Thompson-Boling Arena could be back to normal. For most soccer players, no matter what the level, the goal is to one day represent their country in a game. UT reporter Jack Keenan shows us how the U20 World Cup took one Lady Vols soccer player from Rocky Top to the national stage.
Tapped on and into the back of the net for Tennessee. The Volunteers break through.
The University of Tennessee Lady Vols soccer team will be getting a major weapon for the 2017 season, the return of their star midfielder, Katie Cousins. The former #1 recruit in the country will be back on Rocky Top after spending last fall playing with Team USA's U20 team in New Guinea, an experience Cousins says she will never forget.
It was incredible. Loved the guys I got to play with, loved the coaches, they were awesome. And so just getting to travel the world with them and just do something I love was just incredible. Going out into the field and we got people screaming USA left and right, and it was just a really cool atmosphere to play in. Yeah. I've never got to play in before.
Lady Vols soccer head coach Brian Penske says Cousins' World Cup experience has made her an even more complete player.
Her game has evolved. She is more fit and she is hungrier, and she's also 2 years into this process here at University of Tennessee and really ready and more mature and ready to lead this group, and we see it every day in training right now.
Now, Cousins' achievements aren't just limited to making the U20 national team. She was also named All-SEC freshman and scored her first career goal against Vanderbilt.
She's the kind of kid you want the ball in her hand, so to speak, the ball at her feet, just in order to dictate play at any moment.
As for the future, Cousins says she expects 2017 to be a year filled with success.
We've been working hard this spring already, and so I'm expecting everyone to go out over the summer and just work their tails off and come back together and just start flying.
With Cousins leading the way, the futures of the Lady Vols soccer team and the U.S. national team look very promising. For UT Today, I'm Jack Keenan.
Cousins and the U20 women's national team finished 4th in the 2016 World Cup over the summer. Cousins was named player of the game when her team tied Ghana in the tournament 1-1. Back to you, Faith and Bliss.
Thank you, Casey. When we come back, how one freshman is using their passion to gain experience for his future career.
Stay with us. You're watching UT Today.
Wish that I was on old Rocky Top.
Down Tennessee Hills.
Home sweet home to me.
Good old Rocky Top. Woo! Rocky Top, Tennessee.
Welcome back. Many University of Tennessee students have jobs while in school to pay their bills.
I got to talk to one student about how he's using his job to further his career.
Freshman Daryl Johnson came to UT with a job in mind and camera in hand. Within the first week of school, Daryl was working for the Office of Communication and Marketing as the head student photographer for the University of Tennessee.
I just was asking if they had any positions, and they invited me into their office and set me down with the board of directors and just simply asked me if I wanted to shoot the first App State home game. So I got to shoot on the sideline of an SEC football game for the first time, like first 2 weeks of school.
While in college, he continued to develop his own brand, Astute Lens.
So Astute Lens was preceded by D. Johnson Studios. So I started as an editing agent. I moved to photography and took it seriously my senior year. I started Astute Lens. I just offer visuals, design, photography, and videography to individuals in the community that need it.
Daryl believes his precision, passion, and work ethic sets him apart from other photographers.
I think my passion about my art, because it's more than just work for clients, I believe it's a connection of art, of what that person is doing. I believe it's capturing them for eternity, because they're never going to be that same age that they were when I took the picture. So I think it's passion and really putting in all the precise details and work that it takes to really do my job right.
Reporting for UT Today, I'm Faith Howard.
Daryl is just one of many entrepreneurs on campus that is with a company helping to get a head start on their careers and finance their education.
No, that guy seems really talented.
I am inspired, Bliss.
I really do need to get my pictures taken to commemorate my time at UT.
Really?
But I haven't even picked up my cap and gown yet, and I graduate in May. So I have a lot of work to do, but maybe a little, photo session can help push me along.
Really, for sure. Next week, Governor Haslam's proposal on a new gas tax has come to a halt. How future proposals could affect you.
And with news outlets under fire, one reporter talks to students about their opinions on freedom of speech.
For UT Today, I'm Faith Howard.
And I'm Bliss Ekman. See you next week.